Now, there is one thing that I think a lot of you guys out there will agree with me on this, is the fact that I really do believe that Star Wars, when it comes to this massive franchise, is that it really belongs to stay in the theaters, primarily speaking. The way I see the television shows, be it animated or live action form, whatever it may be, that should really be treated as a side thing when it comes to Star Wars. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So, the movies themselves, alright, they really do deserve to be the limelight of Star Wars, the main focus of the franchise, if you will. And that's exactly why I feel that Star Wars is best in theaters, because you get to go there with other people, either with your friends or family, or experiencing the other people that are actually in the theater seats and their reactions to what's happening on the big screen. That's the great thing about going to the movies when it comes to Star Wars. And that's exactly what Disney and Lucasfilm will be bringing back. Of course, we went over this a couple of months ago due to the global pandemic. The movies were delayed by 1 year, so a lot of work is being poured in by George, John, and Dave into this new universe in order to really establish Star Wars in a different way. That's exactly what they're trying to do. They're really trying to steer things in the right direction for the Star Wars fans around the world. Now, one major thing that all has to do with this new Star Wars trilogy is that we've got George Lucas co-writing the actual films, and we've got new creators coming on board. George is going to be pretty much in charge of the hiring process of who's going to be involved, be it directors and or other writers, coming into play here for these new Star Wars films that are really going to redefine and evolve the Star Wars franchise as we know it. So, with that being said, what's really exciting all has to do with one project in particular. Now, with the Star Wars fandom still very skeptical over the new Star Wars universe and the direction it is going in, fans are also excited over the fact that George Lucas is indeed regulating and fixing the Star Wars franchise in order to steer things in the right direction. Now, it's explained that they are primarily focused on their new Star Wars trilogy of movies that are going to fall into Force lore, as well as the Jedi and the new Dark Side Warriors that will be catered to the hardcore fans of the Star Wars universe. Now, it's described that George Lucas will be co-writing the movies that are already in the early development phase, and that Lucasfilm has been in the talks with actress Gal Gadot to portray a brand new villain in the Star Wars trilogy, since they have been very impressed with her work in both Wonder Woman movies so far, and what they have seen so far with Wonder Woman 1984 as well. Now, let me stop right here for a second, is that Gal Gadot is a very well-talented actress. Say what you will about what she's been involved in apart from Wonder Woman, I think that she's fantastic. I think that she's an amazing up-and-coming actress that's really gaining momentum as we speak, pretty much becoming a part of other franchises out there and other franchises that actually hold big fandoms like Star Wars. And this is a big deal, because this is now actually falling into DC territory and getting an actress from the DC universe to become a part of the Star Wars universe. They're doing the same exact thing with the MCU as well, so keep an eye open for that. But I think that Gal Gadot, nonetheless, is really going to be a great addition to Star Wars, given that she's in the talks with Lucasfilm and creator George Lucas to really portray a brand new villain, which we're going to get into just now. So, this brand new villain, alright? It's described that, of course, that they are aiming to make Gal Gadot portray a brand new Sith princess in the new Star Wars trilogy that will be connected to Keanu Reeves' character, who is described to be a Sith King in the new Star Wars trilogy. Now, we talked about this Sith King. This Sith King character is going to have a curved lightsaber blade on the world of Exegol. This new Star Wars trilogy is really going to fall into the unknown regions. Now, the Sith King, by the way, in case you guys are unaware, you do actually see his throne and the entire throne room in Episode 9. It's the very place where Palpatine sits. That's actually not Palpatine's throne. That is a throne that once belonged to the Sith King of Exegol. That's exactly what these new movies are actually going to take place within. They want to bring it all over to the unknown regions and really explore this new dark side family, which we're going to just explain, in just a couple of seconds. This new dark side family is going to pretty much be a mirror image, or a reverse image, if you will, of the Skywalkers, and that's what they really want to do. So, the Sith Princess is actually said to have a big tie to the Sith Eternal, which was actually seen in The Rise of Skywalker, and that brand new secrets about the Sith will be unveiled in the new trilogy that will take place in the unknown regions. Now, it's explained that the Sith Princess is aimed to be a very complex character that will be a part of the dark side family. The new trilogy is set to focus on the new family and their struggles with the light side of the Force, doing a complete reverse of the Skywalkers dealing with the dark side of the Force. It's a very interesting take on Star Wars, I gotta admit. The fact that they are going to be struggling with the dark instead of, or struggling with the light instead of the dark, I must add. So basically, we could very well find that one of these characters that are associated with the darkness falling to the light could actually be seen as a tragedy. And that's going to be a very interesting spin on Star Wars. I don't know about you guys, but to me, that's going to be a very different turn on how we view Star Wars. Now, it's not just going to be villains in the new Star Wars trilogy. It's also going to have heroes that will be Jedi, that will actually be expanded in other formats like books, novels, comics, you name it. Now, this is not the High Republic era. This is a brand new era that takes place well before the High Republic era. So, past this is where things begin to really pick up and get exciting, is that Gal Gadot is very excited to work on the project, which is going to be the first film of the new trilogy dubbed as Star Wars X. Lucasfilm is negotiating on listing the Roman numeral format by calling it Star Wars Episode 10, in order to give it the episodic feel, even though it will not be connected to the Skywalker saga in a significant way. So, I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. To me, it doesn't make much sense by calling it Star Wars Episode 10, let alone even dubbing it as Star Wars X. To me, it just doesn't make sense at all. I don't know about you guys, but to me, I think that a lot of work needs to be done on how they're going to market these movies. They could easily just call it Chapters 1, 2, and 3, or just call it by the era and call it Chapter 1, 2, and 3 under that era. They could just do that. So, nonetheless, very excited about what they're working with. Now, Gal Gadot is actually said to be working on some other project, but is actually going to become a part of this new universe and mythology that will actually fall more into the dark side aspect of Star Wars to give the fans a better understanding of the nature of the dark side of the Force. Now, Keanu Reeves also is excited to begin work on this new trilogy, as he is working on other projects like The Matrix 4, and even a 4th and 5th John Wick movie. The new trilogy will be a mixture of Lord of the Rings with Star Wars in the mix, in order to give it a unique tone for the Star Wars fans to enjoy. So once again, mixing it between Lord of the Rings and Star Wars is going to be a very interesting transition to how it's going to feel and how it's going to evolve. This obviously sounds like it's going to be a very violent Star Wars trilogy. More so the reason as to why it's going to be catered toward hardcore fans as opposed to, the general common moviegoer. And I think that's going to be a very interesting turn of events here when it comes to Star Wars. So, moving on. Now, Gal Gadot is also described to be very happy to have met with George Lucas, like we said, in order to really give it an authentic feel within the Star Wars world by inserting Star Wars legends in these new movies. Now, Gal Gadot's character is said to have a brand new type of lightsaber that actually fans have never seen before in both canon and/or in Star Wars Legends, where the blade itself is going to have a brand new design in order to make the character big with merchandise and marketing. The character is said to be just as iconic as Leia in the original trilogy, except she will be associated with the dark side of the Force in these new Star Wars movies. You can see the parallel here. We got Princess Leia in the original trilogy, now we have this Sith Princess in this new Star Wars trilogy. Pretty much, it seems like an inverse of the Skywalker family for what they're aiming for, and that to me I think seems like it's going to be a bit of a gamble, but I think it's going to work itself out. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.